Ellie Avery is married to Mitch, who's in the Air Force. They've moved 4 times in 5 years, which makes her a professional mover. Almost every chapter ends with a moving tip, like label boxes correctly and keep related items together. I laughed when a chapter about death and murder ended with the tip that you can laminate old ticket stubs, turning them into bookmarks. That is so incredibly out of place.
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
The Averys just moved to Washington. They purposely bought a house 30 miles away from the military base. When Ellie learns all the other military people live in the neighborhood, she is so mad. She complains a lot and has to eat chocolate to calm down. I understand why she's upset, but it's starting things off on the wrong foot when your main character complains other people exist near her. Ellie should be mad that the movers unloaded all of her boxes in the wrong order. As a result, she doesn't get everything unpacked until the end. I understand why the author wanted the unpacking story to last for the entire book, but at the same time, it's weird to claim the narrator is a professional at moving when it takes her weeks to unpack. Maybe she needs to follow her own moving tips. Our victim is Cass Vincent, who is a militant environmentalist. When the culprit cuts Cass's brakes, she almost crashes into Ellie. Well, that's one way to meet someone. Ellie goes to a spouse coffee event where she meets the various suspects. Fiona wears fancy clothing and loves shopping. Gwen is always in charge of everything. Brent is creepy and touches women all the time. Jeff argues with Cass. Jeff is married to Ellie's best friend, Abby. Naturally, there's drama because Ellie is investigating her friend's husband. When Ellie leaves, she sees Cass's van on the side of the road. Cass is dead. Her death is ruled an accident, as she was stung by a wasp. She's allergic to them. It looks like she was struggling to get her EpiPen in time. Cass's husband goes on an extended leave of absence. He asks Ellie to watch after his house and his dog Rex while he's gone. That will give Ellie lots of opportunities to snoop around the victim's house and find clues. When cleaning Cass's van, Ellie finds a cup of dead wasps underneath the gas pedal. That proves the wasp attack was deliberate murder. Who could the killer be? Ellie remembers the spouse coffee where Cass got into a fight with Diana, the real estate agent. This bothered me way more than it should have. We saw the entire spouse coffee in Chapter 2. Diana was not there. How could there be a flashback to a scene that didn't happen? The next chapter has a second flashback to a scene that didn't happen earlier at the spouse coffee. Ellie talks with Jill, the squadron commander's wife. Since Ellie's a professional organizer, she's put in charge of an upcoming garage sale. Maybe she should get a chance to finish unpacking from her move before stuffing her house full of other people's boxes. Ellie gets a few boxes from the victim. They've got important-looking financial documents inside. Ellie doesn't bother looking through them closely, because if she did, the mystery would be over too soon. Jeff lies about why he fought with the victim, and Ellie discovers Fiona has a secret double life. She's always sneaking out in the middle of the night. The culprit breaks into the victim's garage, and later, the victim's house. The only thing that's stolen is a DVD player. The series is named Mom Zone because Ellie has a newborn baby named Livy. Livy has a crying problem. Ellie struggles because she wants to take care of Livy, but she knows the best thing to do is to leave the crying baby alone so she can learn to self-soothe. Livy develops an ear infection, which results in Ellie meeting the final suspect, Nick Townsend. He gets weekly allergy shots, which is majorly against military rules. Ellie casually asks Nick about the shots. He throws 2 huge screaming fits and threatens her. Gwen secretly meets a man in a parking lot, and Diana refuses to talk about the murder. Ellie sees Fiona working at a coffee shop. Fiona reluctantly confesses she has an out-of-control spending habit, which has resulted in massive bills. She's working 2 jobs at night in order to pay them off. Rex knocks over Gwen's trash can during a walk. The stolen DVD player is inside the trash. Gwen refuses to get the police involved. Ellie gets gossip on Gwen's past from her co-workers. Gwen tries to tell Ellie off, but she's interrupted by her mystery man. The sleazy guy sounds like he's blackmailing her. Ellie learns the victim was trying to stop Diana from building on a new property. A gas attendant warns Ellie somebody sabotaged her car tires, but I was too distracted by the fact that Ellie gets a full tank of gas for $10. That's so cheap. Fiona is murdered. Ellie doesn't bother to investigate Fiona's murder. Ellie searches Jeff's house but finds nothing. Brent left a suspicious message on the victim's phone. When Ellie asks, Brent explains he made a failed attempt to flirt with the victim. And then he tries hitting on Ellie. He's gross. Gwen's mystery man is found dead. Gwen explains he's Colin, her former husband. One day he ran away and abandoned his family. They didn't hear from him again for years. Gwen is worried her current husband will find out she's technically married to somebody else. Ellie overhears a police conversation about one of the higher-ups in the military. He's running a money laundering and fake insurance scheme that targets military widows. This was so specific and so interesting, I'm surprised it's a totally irrelevant story that never comes up again. Ellie solves the mystery when she realizes the box of financial stuff contains an offshore bank account. Ellie breaks into Diana's car to get the incriminating documents. Instead of leaving right away, she spends 10 minutes reading them first. As a result, Brent and Diana catch Ellie red-handed. Oh, I forgot to mention, Brent is married to Diana. Honestly, it's difficult to remember who is married to who in this book, since last names are rarely used and the couples are never seen together. Brent goes off to secure an alibi, while Diana explains all the details of her murdering plans. She was trying to cover up the fact that her property development is illegal. Diana decides to kill Ellie at Ellie's house. Rex the dog heroically defeats Diana, saving Ellie's life. The end. Post-book follow-up. I think this book is too long. I would have liked it better if it was 100 pages shorter. Part of the problem is that there are many scenes which are 2 to 3 pages long. It's not bad for readers, but it does make it hard to summarize the book. If those shorter scenes were combined into full chapters or just shuffled around differently, I'd like it better. I also think Jeff and Nick should be dropped as suspects. Nick's stuff is interesting, but he is the suspect who can be most easily removed from the murder mystery, since he has no connection to the victim. Most reviewers complained about the baby, since there are so many scenes of the baby crying and needing diaper changes. Those didn't bother me because the scenes are realistic, and it's not like there's a whole lot of other things you can do with a baby character. I can understand why people would be annoyed with her nonstop crying, and the way Ellie keeps bringing her baby into danger. Overall, it's not a bad start to a cozy mystery series. The military setting is different, and the mystery has enough angles to be interesting. I struggled to remember who all the characters are, and there were enough slow chapters that I started to zone out in places. Again, I feel like if this book was 100 pages shorter, I'd be more into it. Maybe I just don't have a long attention span. I give Mom Zone number 1, Moving is Murder, a 5 out of 10.